Are you depressed? I'm depressed. Nothing about this world really gives me the courage or the strength to keep a positive attitude or to keep a positive mindset. I find it hard every day to wake up and find reasons to go. Get up in the morning and start my day and get through the day. I don't know if you're having the struggle, but I am for sure. And there's only one way to cure that in my mind. This, a little happiness machine. Miata is always the answer, and therefore, what we're trying to figure out today, is it the answer to my depression? Let's go ahead and find out. So this story does not start at the beginning. I've had this car for maybe a month now and got it running maybe 2 weeks ago. I bought the car not running and not driving off a Facebook Marketplace ad. It happened to be about 10-15 minutes away from my house. The guy said it ran and drove, but ran poorly, and that it was probably some sort of dumb issue. When you would start the car and it would idle okay, but the second you tried to rev it out or drive it, it would fall flat on its face. The drive from his house to my house was me full throttled, maybe on 2 cylinders the whole drive, and just barely making it. But it made it to the house, and that's really all I could have asked of it in the moment. So then it was time to start tearing it apart and figuring out why it was running like garbage. The previous owner believed that it was running like garbage due to a spark or fuel issue. Having driven the car a little bit myself before purchasing it, I kind of tended to agree. He let me know that he had just done the injectors on the vehicle and and had the ECU rebuilt, and that's where he had given up because he had other things to do besides take care of it. And in my mind, oh, those are the two most annoying things to get done, therefore it's going to be something easy and quick to do. I immediately got this thing home, did plugs, wires, and the distributor. I know it's not called distributor on these cars. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, and it still ran like crap. We have a second Miata here that was running and driving perfectly, so I switched over the MAF sensors, the TPS sensor, and the CAS sensor, and the car still ran like garbage. And at that point, it was time to start redoing things that we had already done to try to figure out what the issue was, because we cracked open the motor and the motor looked healthy, so there was no reason to suspect that the motor was crap. In the end, ended up being the injectors that the gentleman before me had replaced. He had put some cheapo eBay injectors into the vehicle, and they ran just as bad as the clogged OEM injectors. The person I had gone to buy the car with had been smart enough to ask for the OEM injectors in the deal with the car after we had found out that he had switched the injectors with some aftermarket ones. So I took those OEM injectors, had them rebuilt at a local carburetor shop, threw them right in, and the car ran fine ever since. I say fine ever since. It does have an occasional idle surge and misfire at idle or from low RPMs due to there being a crack somewhere along the long intake tube for this vehicle. I'm assuming that, due to the crack somewhere on it, there's definitely air getting in it and causing it to run like garbage. But honestly, I kind of moved around, tightened it, and it's kind of a rare issue now, so I backburnered that one to focus on the more critical issues that this vehicle is having. Next, after finally being able to drive it and enjoy it and realize that this thing is a little happiness machine, it was the issue of the title. I had no title with the vehicle, just a long list of bill of sales and a lot of empty promises. After spending about 3 hours at the DMV, I was able to pay the fees, which ended up coming out to about $549 after someone had paid the tags at some point in 2022. They had paid a total of $900 and something because the vehicle had not been registered since 2017. I'm editing now and I realized that I had forgotten to say in the video that like in the paperwork, at some point they had leaned the title out on the Miata for like a loan. So then like, I don't think they didn't have the title due to like having lost it. I just don't think they ever got it back after they paid back for the car or the loan. But I mean, it's under my name now, so obviously the loan, the holder or whatever had released the title at some point. But I think it's like an NA. I don't know who does that. So now the vehicle is in my name and the fees are paid off. I just still need to pass smog. When I took it to go get smogged, it is running too high on the NO2s because the vehicle keeps overheating because I think the fans aren't kicking on. So I'm going to back burner the smog issue for a little bit because I need to do the fan issues, and then we'll see if the car runs cooler while it's being smogged, if it'll pass. That's my assumption. I'm not super worried about it, but you know. I forgot to mention one of the main reasons that this car was kind of a good deal, and even though it was running like crap, I was still happy to get it, was because it does have a Unis motor in it, which is pretty cool. It's still the 1.6, and it's basically completely stock rather than the fact that it's been imported from Japan. So if you can see, it has some nice oxidization on the valve cover. That's JDM, dude. That's awesome. So we got the car running, we got the car driving, and we got the car under my name. Still not smog, but under my name. So what's my next steps? Well, everything. The car steers like crap. I think every single suspension component on it is completely dry rotted or torn. It kind of rides like crap too. The shocks might be blown, but I mean, they feel okay, but why not say they're blown so I can go ahead and pick up some coilovers for it? And the shifter needs to be rebuilt. I have never felt a Miata that shifts as bad as this one. It is like you're stirring soup in there. My roommate's running a driving Miata, has a short shifter in it that has brand new bushings in it. Every throw is perfect, every throw is crisp, and it pisses me off. But let's say I don't want to worry about the drivability of the vehicle, I want to worry more about how it looks. Well, my plan is to wrap it. I've never wrapped a car myself. I think it would be fun to try it out and figure out if it'll come out good. The car already looks like crap. How much worse could it look? Besides that, the dashboard is ruined. The seat is torn. The roof, the glass has fallen out at some point, plus being, generally torn. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do to it. I do have a dashboard, I have a top, and I have the coilovers, and I have a front suspension rebuild kit already in my house. So there's big moves coming to my little happiness machine. I forgot to mention in that little monologue that the door card is completely tarnished. I do have another one of those, and the window is stuck there. If I hit the switch, I can hear the motor moving, but the window doesn't want to go anywhere. You thought that I had the windows matching for aesthetics? No, this one's fine. That one's stuck there, and I think it looks silly with one down, one up, so I try to just match them whenever the roof is down. That's really all I have to say for this one. It was a quick one. Most of the work has been done off camera, and most of the work that needs to be done is coming soon. So if you'd like to see that and find out the answer to the question, is a Miata the cure to your depression? Go ahead and subscribe. Or don't. The Buick is also here still.